B.P.L CEO says this summer will not be a repeat of 2017. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Altaviz Munnings. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks so much for tuning in. While last year's summer season was plagued with power outages for electricity consumers, especially here in New Providence, Bahamas Power and Light CEO Whitney Hasty says consumers can expect a marked improvement this year. Cleopatra Murphy leads us off tonight with consumer news, as the B.P.L CEO also provided details on the island-wide blackout here in New Providence earlier this week.
CEO of Bahamas Power and Light Whitney Hasty says there will be no load shedding this summer, but could not promise no more equipment failures following a power outage Monday night that left the island in darkness for some customers as long as 4 hours. He says over the past few months, B.P.L has worked on its power generation capabilities.
The peak last year was about 257. So we've got really more than 200 megawatts of additional generation that we have on the ground that we should be able to easily carry through, right? Typically in an island grid system, given a peak of about 260, you really don't need more than 310 megawatts. We've got 450 megawatts on the ground.
The B.P.L executive says preliminary investigations show Monday night's outage was a result of major equipment failure as a result of a hit on the Clifton Pier power station due to inclement weather. Hasty says because the fault was in the plant, an island-wide blackout occurred.
In simple terms, if something was to happen further away from the plant has a faster time to react. The closer it is to the plant, the response of the protection system has to be a whole lot faster.
Hasty says the time it took to restore power to the island is still not acceptable, and the company has a long way to go.
It's a step approach. We recognize that, B.P.L employees are working diligently to try and make sure we move this thing along as fast as we can. But I can't stress this enough. It has to be done safely. We don't want anyone to get hurt. And that, I prefer to keep the island black than anyone getting hurt.
The B.P.L CEO says they are also working to improve response time in the aftermath of hurricanes.
One of the things we learned from Matthew is an economy is really heavily dependent on how quickly you can get power back, right? And so cost is a consideration, but there's typically a larger cost not to get systems and people back to work than it is to just string it out for 8, 9, 10 weeks.
B.P.L has not determined the cost of the damage to equipment following Monday's outage, but Hasty says resources are available on the island to conduct repairs. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.